All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Tanvi Khurana. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews progress of COVID-19 vaccination drive in the country. Says steps need to be taken to bring down vaccine wastage. Over 22.75 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. National recovery rate improves to 93.1%. World Environment Day being celebrated across the world today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the event this morning. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor launches Youth App scheme for students to encourage digital learning. Delhi High Court rejects a petition filed by actor Juhi Chawla against setting up of 5G wireless networks in the country. US President Joe Biden bans American entities from investing in Chinese companies with alleged ties to defense or surveillance technology sectors. Britain allows COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech to use on children of 12 to 15 years. Southwest monsoon is expected to intensify across Kerala. IMD issues yellow alert in 10 districts for today. And in tennis, Alexander Zverev enters fourth round of men's singles event at French Open. In the wake of COVID-19, we appeal to our listeners not to lower their guard and stay safe and protected by following these 4 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene and get vaccinated. For providing COVID-related information and guidance to the people, national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075 are operational. And now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting yesterday to review the progress of India's vaccination drive. During the meeting, officials gave a detailed presentation on various aspects of the vaccination drive. The Prime Minister was briefed about the current availability of vaccines and the roadmap for ramping it up. Mr. Modi was also apprised about the efforts undertaken to help various vaccine manufacturers ramp up production of vaccines. The Government of India is actively working with vaccine manufacturers and helping them in terms of facilitating more production units, financing and supply of raw materials. Mr. Modi reviewed the status of vaccination coverage in healthcare workers as well as frontline workers. He also took stock of the vaccination coverage in the above 45 as well as 18 to 44 age group. The Prime Minister also reviewed the status of vaccine wastage in various states. He instructed that vaccine wastage numbers are still on the higher side and steps need to be taken to bring them down. Officials also briefed the Prime Minister on various measures being taken on the tech front to make the process of vaccination more people-friendly. Officials briefed Mr. Modi on advanced visibility being provided to states on vaccine availability. They also apprised the Prime Minister that states have been asked to pass on this information to district level so that there is no inconvenience to people. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country has exceeded 22.75 crore. On the 140th day of the vaccination drive yesterday, over 33,57,000 vaccine doses were given. Over 16,23,000 beneficiaries of the age group 18 to 44 years received their first dose and 31,217 beneficiaries of the same age group received their second dose yesterday. Over 2 crore 58 lakh persons across 37 states and UTs have received their first dose and over 1,18,000 have received their second dose since the start of phase 3 of the vaccination drive.
वैक्सीन के विषय में हम आप लोगों की दृष्टि में लाना चाहेंगे। देश में अब तक 22.41 करोड़ टोटल डोजेज दी जा चुकी हैं, जिसमें मुख्यतः हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स, फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स एंड पीपल अबव 45 इयर्स ऑफ एज कवर किए गए हैं और साथ ही जो नई लिबरलाइज अप्रोच के तहत 18 टू 44 इयर्स के लोग अलाउ किए गए थे, उसमें भी अब एक स्टेबिलिटी इन टर्म्स ऑफ 2.43 करोड़ पीपल हु हैव बीन गिवन डोजेज नोट किया गया है।
Amid the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, India is witnessing a significant decline in active caseloads and fresh cases of coronavirus. The Union Health Ministry said the recovery rate is continuously improving in the country and it has reached 93.1%. During the last 24 hours, over 207,000 patients recovered from the disease. So far, over 2,65 lakh patients have recovered from this infectious disease. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said the active caseload presently comprises 5.73% of the cumulative positive cases and it is continuously declining. Chemical and Fertilizers Minister D.V. Sadananda has said that an additional 1,21,000 vials of amphotericin B have been allocated to all the states, UTs and central institutions. He said additional 9,750 vials of amphotericin B have been allocated to Karnataka. A total of 22,460 vials of the drug have been allocated to the state till now. Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank has said that keeping the safety and security of the students, National Institute of Open Schooling (NIOS) has cancelled 12th class examinations. He said students will be evaluated based on the objective criteria to be announced soon. Dr. Pokhriyal said it will benefit around 1.75 lakh students.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that his government will inoculate 10 lakh beneficiaries daily from next month. Women's special camps will also be organized throughout the state. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Mass vaccination drive is going on in a state from 1st June and yesterday, a record number of more than 3 lakh beneficiaries were inoculated. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has asked to triple the current number of vaccination in a single day from next month and make the arrangement for the staff, centers and other facilities to achieve this target. He said that there is enough vaccines available for the vaccination drive in a state. From coming Monday, 2 women special vaccination sessions will be organized in every district of a state so that the women can be inoculated in maximum numbers. Government has suggested trader associations, housing societies and other institutes to come forward and contact with Chief Medical Officer of their district for arrangement of special vaccination camps for their people. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Bihar is witnessing a sharp decline in fresh COVID cases. The state's recovery rate has risen to 98%, while the test positivity rate has declined to below 1% and it is 0.87%. The number of active cases is also decreasing and presently stands at 10,308. Over 6,95,562 people have so far recovered from the infection. 991 fresh COVID cases were reported in the state during the last 24 hours and 2,090 people recovered yesterday. Over 1,08,43,000 people have been vaccinated in the state so far. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has said that there is adequate availability of injection amphotericin B in the state for treatment of mucormycosis. The state yesterday reported 798 new cases of corona, while 2,045 patients have recovered from infection. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
22 districts of the state are in green zone where the weekly positivity rate is less than 1%. The remaining 20 districts of the state are in the orange zone with weekly positivity rate ranging between 1% to 5%. The number of active cases declined to 12,889. The positivity rate reduced to 0.9%. The number of tests being conducted per day has reached around 80,000. Not a single new case has been reported in Alirajpur, Chhatarpur and Jhabua district, while one new case each has been reported in 3 districts of Burhanpur, Katni and Mandla. More than 15 cases have been reported in only 4 districts of Indore, Bhopal, Jabalpur and Sagar. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Maharashtra government has said that there will be 5 levels of restrictions for different categories of activities. In an order issued late last night, the government said that these levels of restrictions will be applied based on 2 parameters, that is, case positivity rate and percentage of oxygen beds occupancy. The order said every disaster management authority shall enforce these levels of restrictions over administrative units falling under their jurisdictions. More on this from our Mumbai correspondent.
Classifying the areas into various levels, the state government said that where the positivity rate is below 5% and oxygen beds occupancy is less than 25%, those areas will come under level 1. Similarly, those areas with less than 5% positivity rate and oxygen beds occupancies between 25 and 40% will come under level 2. The restrictions will become stricter with higher positivity rate and increase in oxygen bed occupancy. Sports, restaurants, gatherings, marriages, meetings, construction activities, public transport, timings for shops dealing with essential items as well as non-essential items, malls, theatres, gyms, salons, shooting, public transport, cargo movement will be regular in level 1 category. Also, all private offices in level 1 and level 2 have been allowed to open as per their regular working hours. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Tamil Nadu, more than 33,000 COVID patients were discharged after the treatment yesterday. Around 22,600 people were tested positive. According to the health bulletin, more than 2,68,000 patients are under treatment. A total of 463 deaths were reported. More than 1,63,000 samples were tested positive. Coimbatore continues to top the list with 2,810 fresh positive cases. Chennai registered 1,971 cases. Erode, Salem, Thanjavur, Tirupur continue to register more than 1,000 cases.
World Environment Day is being celebrated across the globe today. It is one of the biggest annual events organized by the United Nations to generate awareness about the significance of nature. The United Nations General Assembly established World Environment Day in 1972, which was the first day of the Stockholm Conference on the Human Environment. It was first observed in 1974. The theme of this year's World Environment Day is Reimagine, Recreate, Restore, as this year marks the beginning of the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. On World Environment Day, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres in his message has warned that we are ravaging the very ecosystems that underpin our societies, and our degradation of the natural world is destroying the very food, water and resources needed to survive. He said it is already undermining the well-being of 3.2 billion people, or 40% of humanity. Mr. Guterres said, but fortunately, the earth is resilient and we still have time to reverse the damage we have done. He said, by restoring ecosystems, we can drive a transformation that will contribute to the achievement of all the Sustainable Development Goals.
We are rapidly reaching the point of no return for the planet. We face a triple environmental emergency: biodiversity loss, climate disruption, and escalating pollution. We still have time to reverse the damage we have done. That is why, on this World Environment Day, we are launching the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. This global movement will bring together governments, businesses, and civil society and private citizens in an unprecedented effort to heal the earth. By restoring ecosystems, we can drive a transformation that will contribute to the achievement of all the Sustainable Development Goals. Today, let's start a new decade, one in which we finally make peace with nature and secure a better future for all.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the World Environment Day event today at 11 a.m. through video conferencing. The event is being jointly organized by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The theme for this year's event is Promotion of Biofuels for Better Environment. More from our correspondent.
During the event, Prime Minister will release the report of the Expert Committee on Roadmap for Ethanol Blending in India 2020-2025. To commemorate World Environment Day, Government of India is releasing E20 notification directing oil companies to sell ethanol, blended petrol with percentage of ethanol up to 20% from 1st April 2023 and BIS specification for higher ethanol blends E12 and E15. These efforts will facilitate setting up of additional ethanol distillation capacities and will provide timelines for making blended fuel available across the country. Prime Minister will launch a pilot project of E100 dispensing stations at 3 locations in Pune, Maharashtra. Mr. Modi will also interact with farmers to gain insight on their first-hand experience as enablers under the ethanol, blended petrol and compressed biogas programs. Anupam Mish, AR News, Delhi.
On World Environment Day, Union Minister for Environment, Forests and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar has said that India has a glorious past with Indian ethos of living in harmony and worshipping nature. He said India is guiding the present with thriving wildlife, 70% of world's tiger, 70% of Asiatic lions, 60% of leopards with 8% of world's biodiversity. Mr. Javadekar said today India leads climate action for a green future. Britain's medicines regulator has approved the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech for use on 12 to 15 years old children, following similar clearances in the US and the EU. Chief Executive of UK Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, June Rain, said that her agency has carefully reviewed the clinical trial data in children aged 12 to 15 years old. She said the regulator concluded that the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective in this age group and that the benefits of this vaccine outweigh any risk.
Top American infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci has called on China to release the medical records of 9 people whose ailments might provide vital clues into whether COVID-19 first emerged as a result of a lab leak. Fauci said that he would like to see the medical records of the 3 people who are reported to have got sick in 2019. He added that it must be known that if the 3 people really got sick and with what they got sick. The origin of the virus is hotly contested, with U.S. intelligence agencies still examining reports that researchers at a Chinese virology laboratory in Wuhan were seriously ill in 2019, a month before the first COVID-19 cases were reported.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews progress of COVID-19 vaccination drive in the country, says steps need to be taken to bring down vaccine wastage. Over 22.75 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. National recovery rate improves to 93.1%. World Environment Day being celebrated across the world today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the event this morning. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor launches UTAB scheme for students to encourage digital learning. Delhi High Court rejects a petition filed by actor Juhi Chawla against setting up of 5G wireless networks in the country. US President Joe Biden bans American entities from investing in Chinese companies with alleged ties to defense or surveillance technology sectors. Britain allows COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech to use on children of 12 to 15 years. Southwest monsoon is expected to intensify across Kerala. IMD issues yellow alert in 10 districts for today. And in tennis, Alexander Zverev enters 4th round of men's singles event at French Open. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Delhi High Court has dismissed a petition filed by actor Juhi Chawla and 2 others against the setting up of 5G wireless networks in the country. Justice J.R. Midha also imposed a fine of 20 lakh rupees on the petitioners for the abuse of the process of law. Justice Midha held that the suit filed by Chawla and 2 others was defective, non-maintainable and also contained unverified and vexatious assertions. The High Court also expressed dissatisfaction at Chawla sharing the link of virtual hearing on her social media account. Observing that Chawla did not approach any of the 33 defendants named in her suit and instead sought a declaration from the court, the bench said this declaration cannot be allowed under the law. Justice Midha also said Chawla did not deposit the court fee for her suit and directed her to pay 1.95 lakh rupees within 1 week. The petition claimed that 5G wireless technology can be a potential threat to provoke irreversible and serious effects on humans, and it could also permanently damage the Earth's ecosystems. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur has launched UTAB scheme for students in the Union Territory. He distributed tablets to the students of 9 to 12th classes yesterday as part of the first phase of UTAP scheme. A total of 12,300 students of 6th to 12th classes from government schools will benefit from the scheme. UTAP scheme, formulated to encourage digital learning, bridges the digital divide between connected and unconnected and mitigates the COVID pandemic disruptions. More from our Leh correspondent.
Addressing the occasion, Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur also said 91 new ICT labs would be set up, while 2 astronomy labs are already set up to develop scientific temperament among the students of Ladakh. LG also appealed the Leh and Kargil Hill Council administration to ensure 100% enrollment and zero dropout up to class 8.
और मुझे खुशी है कि लद्दाख पहला ऐसा स्टेट या यूटी बन रहा है देश में जिसमें ये हम इंट्रोड्यूस कर पाए। बहुत से स्टेट्स ने कोशिश करी है लेकिन नहीं कर पाए। वी आर लॉन्चिंग टुवर्ड्स ए हाइब्रिड टेक्नोलॉजी for education in Ladakh.
In the virtual UTAP scheme launch program, Leh Hill Council C. Tashi Gyalsan, Kargil C. Feroz Ahmad Khan and Ladakh MP Jaimak Singh Namgyal have participated. With Anayat Ali in Kargil and Ramesh Chandra in Leh, this is Yangsan Dolma for AIR News from Leh, Ladakh.
In a bid to ensure free and fair elections in the country and maximize the electoral coverage, the Election Commission of India has made a series of recommendations to the Law Ministry, including cancellation of candidature and increasing the imprisonment to 2 years in case of false affidavit by poll candidates. In an exclusive interview with AIR News, Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra informed that the Commission has suggested the Law Ministry to work on necessary amendments to include more than one cut-off date for inclusion of people turning 18 years into the electoral list. In another major reform, the Central Poll Body has also suggested to link the Aadhaar card with the voter ID card in order to prevent duplicity of EPIC cards.
हम चाहते हैं कि पूरे साल में कई तिथियां हों जब वो 31 मार्च तक है, वो 18 साल प्राप्त कर लेता है, तब भी वो वोटर बन जाना चाहिए। विधि मंत्रालय से विचार विमर्श भी हुआ है और उनको सुझाव भी भेजा हुआ है। दूसरा हमारा जो इम्पोर्टेंट सुझाव है वो ये है कि हमारा जो इलेक्टोरल रोल है उसको हम आधार से भी लिंक कर दें, सो दैट अगर कहीं पर भी डुप्लीकेट वोटर्स, किसी एक आदमी ने अपना नाम 3 जगह लिखवाया हुआ है, उसको हम ट्रेस कर सकें और उसको हम खत्म कर सकें। और इसके अलावा हम चाहते हैं कि 3-4 और इम्पोर्टेंट हमारे सजेशंस हैं जो कि वहां पर अभी लंबित हैं। और जैसे कि एक एफिडेविट जो लोग फाइल करते हैं कैंडिडेट, अगर वो एफिडेविट गलत पाया जाता है तो उसकी सजा का प्रावधान 6 महीने का है। हम चाहते हैं उसको बढ़ा के 2 वर्ष किया जाए और साथ में अगर गलत उसका एफिडेविट है जिसके आधार पर मतदाता ने उसको वोट दिया है, उसका जो कैंडिडेट है वो निरस्त किया जाए।
The exclusive interview with Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra will be broadcast by News Services Division of All India Radio tonight. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. The interview will also be available in Hindi at 4:30 p.m. today in our program Parikrama.
As the southwest monsoon is expected to intensify across Kerala, yellow alert has been declared in 10 districts for today. All districts excluding Tirunananthapuram, Kollam, Pathanamthitta and Palakkad are under yellow alert. Disaster Management Authority has warned of gusty winds at a speed of 40 to 50 kilometers, and fishermen in Kerala coast have been advised not to venture into the sea. As a mark of respect to former President of Mauritius, Anirudh Jagannath, there will be one day's state mourning today throughout India. Mr. Jagannath passed away on Thursday. Today, the national flag will be flown at half-mast on the day of mourning throughout India on all buildings where the national flag is flown regularly, and there will be no official entertainment on the day. Anirudh Jagannath served as 4th President of Mauritius from October 2003 to March 2012. He was Prime Minister of the island nation from June 1982 to December 1995, from September 2000 to October 2003, and from December 2014 to January 2017. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have expressed grief on the demise of Anirudh Jagannath. Mr. Modi spoke also to Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Jagannath, who is the son of the departed leader, and conveyed heartfelt condolences.
U.S. President Joe Biden has signed an executive order that bans U.S. entities from investing in many Chinese companies with alleged ties to defense or surveillance technology sectors. The U.S. Treasury Department will enforce and update on a rolling basis the new list of about 59 companies, which bars buying or selling publicly traded securities in target companies. Facebook has suspended former U.S. President Donald Trump's accounts for 2 years, effective from the date of initial suspension on January 7th this year. The information about the suspension was shared by Nick Clegg, Facebook's Vice President of Global Affairs, in a blog post. Last month, the Oversight Board upheld Facebook's suspension of former U.S. President Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts following his praise for people engaged in violence at the Capitol on January 6th.
In French Open tennis, 6th seed Alexander Zverev made it to the 4th round with a 6-2, 7-5, 6-2 victory over Laslo Djere of Serbia in men's singles in Paris yesterday. The German star will take on world number 49, Kai Nishikori of Japan, who made it to the pre-quarterfinals after qualifier Henry Laxonson of Switzerland was forced to retire due to a thigh injury while trailing 5-7 in the first set. Russian world number 2 Daniil Medvedev continued to push for the world number 1 ranking with another commanding performance as he defeated world number 35 Riley Opelka of the USA to enter pre-quarterfinals. In the women's sections, 7th seeded American star Serena Williams kept her hopes of her 24th single Grand Slam title alive as she overcame compatriot Danielle Collins 6-4, 6-4 to reach the 4th round for the first time in 3 years. 3rd seed Aryna Sabalenka was beaten by Russia's Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova 6-4, 2-6, 6-0. And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for the day. Jammu will have a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. The minimum temperature was 23 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh will have a partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will see a mainly clear sky. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Dehradun will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of development of thunder and lightning. Chandigarh will have a mainly clear sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Under 5% positivity rate in 377 districts. No hasty unlock, states told, reads the Tribune headline. 68% decline in COVID cases since May peak, writes the Statesman. AIIMS Delhi has found that none of the fully vaccinated people died after getting reinfected with coronavirus, which means while the vaccine may not guarantee protection against reinfection, it offers hope that the body can develop antibodies to fight the virus for long. The report appears in the Pioneer. Alpha to Delta switch behind city's 4th wave, reads the headline in Hindustan Times, quoting a new report by Indian scientists explaining Delhi's most devastating COVID-19 wave. The Drugs Controller General of India has granted permission to Serum Institute to manufacture Sputnik V jabs, writes The Hindu. Bio-E may be India's cheapest at less than 250 rupees a jab, reports The Times of India. RBI bats for growth, aids small companies, COVID-hit sectors, headlines Financial Express. RBI opens 31,000 crore rupees tap for MSMEs, writes the Hindu Business Line.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews progress of COVID-19 vaccination drive in the country, says steps need to be taken to bring down vaccine wastage. Over 22.75 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. National recovery rate improves to 93.1%. World Environment Day being celebrated across the world today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the event this morning. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor launches UTAP scheme for students to encourage digital learning. Delhi High Court rejects a petition filed by actor Juhi Chawla against setting up of 5G wireless technology or networks in the country. US President Joe Biden bans American entities from investing in Chinese companies with alleged ties to defense or surveillance technology sectors. Britain allows COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech to use on children of 12 to 15 years. Southwest Monsoon is expected to intensify across Kerala. IMD issues yellow alert in 10 districts for today. And in tennis, Alexander Zverev enters fourth round of men's singles event at French Open. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.